Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is Horror Trans. I'm Stephanie Bree. I am a transgender woman and I talk about all things horror. And today we're finally talking about Child's Play. This is the first movie in the ongoing, never ending, never dying Chucky franchise. So, it's the first. So, does it hold up today? That's a good question. So, Child's Play is interesting for a couple of reasons. It's scary as fuck. When I was a kid, this movie scared the shit out of me. As I watch it today as an adult, I still find it legitimately terrifying. So, this is a legitimately scary movie. I've seen most of the Chucky fare. This is the only one that is legitimately scary. So, let's go ahead and put that out there. Um, so it's kind of playing on the whole Cabbage Patch toy craze, but also the whole My Buddy thing that came along in the late 80s. If you don't know what My Buddy is, Google it. You can find the commercial on YouTube, and it'll probably terrify you to your core. Because it's creepy as fuck. Let's push that aside for a second. So you have this doll that is super popular and all the kids want it because it can talk, and it's called the Good Guy doll. And this little boy named Andy, I think he's 6 in the movie. Anyways, he all he wants for his birthday is a Good Guy doll. That's it. He just begs his mom for a Good Guy doll. And she lives in a city, and unfortunately, she's not able to comply. But there's a catch. So earlier in the movie, before we find out about the Good Guy doll, we have a police chase with a supposedly convicted, or I don't know if I would say convicted, we'll say a serial killer, an escaped serial killer, accused serial killer, named Charles Lee Ray. We only see Charles for maybe 5 minutes of the movie, and he gets shot by the cops. So he dies. But before he dies, he does some voodoo ritual where he transfers his soul from his body into a Good Guy doll. And it just so happens, yes, you've probably already figured this out, this is the Good Guy doll that Andy ends up getting for his birthday when his mom does find one in a back alley somewhere from a, we'll say scalper, for lack of a better word. So she takes the doll home, gives it to her kid. He's all ecstatic. He's elated. Yay, he got the thing he wanted. He couldn't be happier. He takes the doll to bed. The doll starts talking to him, and he's like, this isn't what I wanted. And Andy's mom has to I think she gets called into work, if I'm not mistaken. So she has to leave. And so she calls over a babysitter. And Chucky, who the doll calls himself Chucky, it's Charles Lee Ray. So Chucky is short for Charles. So Chucky ends up killing the babysitter, but framing Andy so it looks like Andy did it. And so we spend the rest of the movie with Andy under police investigation for the murder and other suspicious deaths that keep happening that Andy happens to be present at, where the only other person present is the doll. And come on, we know it can't be the goddamn doll. It's a fucking piece of plastic, right? Right? Okay. So then we get this weird scene in the middle of the movie, smack dab in the middle of the movie out of nowhere, where Chucky goes to the house of the voodoo witch doctor person, whatever you want to call him, I don't know, who taught him the spell. And he finds out, because he's feeling pain, and he shouldn't be feeling pain because he's a doll, he's plastic. He finds out that if he stays in this body too long, he'll be trapped in that body forever. So in order to get out of the body, he has to transfer his soul again into Andy, a human child, so that he can live on in Andy's body, and Andy presumably dies. They don't really explain it, but we're left there. And we get this weird scene with a voodoo doll, but I'm just gonna just brush that aside and chalk that up to fucking whatever. Anyways, so we get that, we move on, and eventually the mom pieces it together that Chucky is probably alive. And then Chucky attacks her, and then she ends up killing Chucky in a struggle. And roll credits. Basically, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's the essentials. That's the gist of it. So, if you're alive today and you're aware of commercials and streaming and everything else, you know Chucky is popular. There's a TV series, there's movies, there's Halloween costumes and toys and every damn thing else. Chucky's been around forever, but this is the first one. So, like I said, this is the only one that's legitimately scary, and this is the only one that was intended to be scary. Subsequent films, well, no, I take that back. The first 3 Child's Play movies were supposed to be scary, but 2 and 3 fall short of the stick. They're not scary at all. They're not scary at all. Let's just put that out there. But we're not talking about them right now. We're just saying this one is legitimately scary. There's only a handful of kills, like 3, maybe 4 kills in this movie. Well, maybe 5. I don't know. Not very many. They're not that gruesome. They're not really gory. They're not off camera necessarily. One of them is kind of off camera, the babysitter, but we see just enough to know what happens. You don't see the impact of him hitting her in the head with the hammer, but you do see her falling out the building and landing on the street. So, you see that her die. You just don't see him kill her, if that makes sense. It's very atmospheric. It's, like I said a couple times already, this is very scary. Well acted, well written for the most part. The voodoo stuff is a little fishy, but, it is what it is. And for the most part, it's a pretty good movie. Now, I have to say for the most part, because I have 2 minor nitpicks about this movie, and I'm going to nitpick. Nitpick number 1, the creepy motherfucking doll in the commercial, the TV commercial. God damn, that's scary as fuck. How would a kid see that and go, I want that? When that scared the living shit out of me when I was a kid. I saw that commercial in the movie and I was like, oh my god, this is definitely a horror fucking movie. Yes, I watched this movie when I was too young to watch this movie. I was probably Andy's age when I watched this movie. I might have been a year or 2 older, maybe. I don't know. I was like first or second grade when I watched this movie. So however old you are, first or second grade, we'll say 6 or 7. So I was probably Andy's age when I watched this movie, or like thereabouts. It did fucking traumatize me. Absolutely. I will not to this day own a redheaded Cabbage Patch doll, or a Raggedy Ann, or any fucking redheaded doll at all. I won't. Not even a redheaded Barbie, because of this fucking movie. To this day, I won't. I won't fucking do it. So there is that. This movie fucked me up. It's still a damn good movie. It's still a damn fucking good movie. This is absolutely 100% a buy. I have the whole collection on DVD, so that's where I'm at. I'm not going to say they're all buys, but I have them all because I'm a collector. So there is that. But this one I do recommend. You should want this one in your collection. This is one you're going to want to rewatch. I highly recommend this movie. This is a damn good movie.